We're back! Thanks for tuning into this edition of Going Gainesville. I'm Lesley, your host and the owner of Salman Home Realty, and I'm here today joined with my co-host,
Becky Clark with Nollipop Mobile Boutique.
And tell me a little bit about Nollipop Mobile Boutique.
Well, Nollipop brings fashion to you. We have 3 mobile boutiques, and we also are selling online right now.
And you all know how much I love Nollipop, so I'm so glad that Becky's here to be with us. And we are at Aroma II, the tasting room in Haymarket that just is getting ready to open up, part of Morais Vineyards, and we're gonna go on in and check it out.
Let's go.
So here we are, we're sitting with Alex here. Thanks so much for having us out.
Of course, no, I'm very happy to be able to welcome you ladies down here and to see you guys again.
So we've been super excited to get the Aroma tasting room out in Haymarket.
Yes.
And so tell me how that came to be from, well, we're sitting at Morais Vineyards here in Bealton, and I've never been here before.
No, this is my first time. It's so beautiful.
Like literally gorgeous. It's like a fairy tale.
It really is. Well, Mr. Morais immigrated over here from Portugal, and back in Portugal, his family has a long history of winemaking in their families and everything. And so after he, got his businesses established here, he had this beautiful piece of land and decided to kind of open it up to the public and show off, a lot of architecture that's been, very Portuguese influenced, and of course our wines that have a very heavy Portuguese influence as well. He did open up the Aroma Tasting Room in Manassas a few years ago after they had opened this and established it, just as a way, we know we're a little further out here in Bealton, and to kind of be in the midst of a town where people could visit us a little bit more frequently. And that's kind of the same idea behind opening up the new location in Haymarket too.
Right. And once people check out one or the other, then they find out about the others, and it's just, everyone loves the wine and we'll go to the different locations.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's, and that's kind of the whole idea behind it too. That's how we've kind of, that's what we do for our club members is, any of these locations that they go into, and it's definitely an incentive for them to visit each of the different places. We're also very excited because we're going to be doing a little special wine release at the Haymarket location. Once we get that opened up, hopefully in the phase 2 of Virginia reopening. But we are going to have a special edition white, rosé, and red wine that we will only be offering at the Haymarket location for as long as supplies last. So we'll be doing a little limited batch.
So close. I know, and I love, I've never tried white rosé.
White and a rosé, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, but it's
That's a
actually,
white rosé.
it is going to be a little bit different than our traditional rosé. Our normal rosé that we have here on the tasting menu is going to be a Saignée rosé, which means it was made with red grapes, where you pull some of the juice off when it kind of hits that optimal color level. But this one we're actually doing, which is traditionally known as a blush style wine. So it's going to be a blend of a white wine and a little bit of a red wine to kind of give it that traditional rosé color.
You guys do other events and things
100%.
On this property too, right?
Yes, so we have several different buildings on the property. We're sitting here obviously in the tasting room. And then we have in the back, we have a event facility that can host up to 300 people. Normally our weddings are about 250. And then underneath there is our wine cellar and barrel room. We have a little chapel on the property for people to also take pictures
I saw
at.
that walking in, I was wondering, because I saw the stained glass window.
It's very cute,
Oh,
yeah.
I bet that's so pretty.
So they've got the chapel, they have a bridal suite that has a wine library underneath it. And then we also have a car garage here that has somewhere around 27 different vintage collectible cars in there.
No way.
Yeah, Mr. Morais is quite the car collector.
So
but really some
like
beautiful
a
thing
place
in there.
to go, and you could literally walk around and
Absolutely,
spend the day
yeah.
touring.
Yes, no, there's lots to see. We have a big pond out in the back. We have some animals here on the property as well. A nice little walking path kind of around the grounds as well. Beautiful different locations to do ceremonies for the weddings as well.
So Alex, please tell us a little bit more about the location in Haymarket. This is the one that we're really excited for, because obviously Lesley and I live very close. Yes. So we want to hear more about what you're going to be what kind of wines you're going to be serving, what kind of events you're going to have, things like that.
Well, we're going to be modeling it's going to be called Aroma II in Haymarket, a little bit more after the Aroma Tasting Room in Manassas. So that being said, it's going to be a more indoor seating than outdoor seating that's going to be available. At that location, we're also really excited because we have a private room that can hold about 20 people, so people can reserve it for special parties and tastings and things of that nature. We will be offering our usual lineup of wine in addition to the 3 special bottles that we'll be releasing that. We're also really excited too because on the labels of those, they're going to have a little tribute to Haymarket on them as well.
Oh, that's awesome.
So we're really excited to be able to unveil those after we get everything all finalized for them. All right, so today we're going to start off with talking about our Battlefield white wine. So this is going to be a very Portuguese style wine done in a Vinho Verde style, which means that the grapes are picked when they're a little bit underripe, really maintaining that really bright acidity to it. This is going to be a blend of Vidal Blanc and Alvarinho, which is going to be the Portuguese version of the Spanish Alvarinho. Very similar, lots of fruity characteristics to them. Like I said, that really bright, crisp acidity. So perfect for a summertime drinker. And then one of the other wines that we are very proud of here at Morais is going to be our Touriga Nacional. So Touriga is the country grape of Portugal, which is one of the reasons why we're offering it here. This is a very unique red wine. I love it with spicy food because it actually has a very bright, juicy fruitiness to it, a very balanced acidity, and that fruitiness kind of comes in and tames any heat in a dish that you may have. There's some beautiful spice notes on these, which is also very, very unique. You get lots of that black licorice tone to the wine as well. Portugal is also very, very well known for doing, of course, port style wine. So of course we have to be able to offer a port here made by a Portuguese winemaker as well. This is going to be made using the Touriga grapes that we use in our single varietal Touriga. And then we also stop the fermentation when it has about 7% residual sugar to it, and then we fortify it with brandy to give it a little bit more weight to it. And then we have, of course, our port style wine here, our MV Ruby. Our winemaker is Portuguese as well, and since port style wines are so popular coming from Portugal, of course, we knew we had to offer one here as well. This is going to be made with Touriga, which is the wine that we just talked about, the national grape of Portugal. We stop fermentation on this when there's about 7% residual sugar left in the wine, and then by stopping the fermentation, we use brandy to fortify it at the same time, and that addition of the extra alcohol stops the fermentation process. And then one of the other little dessert wines we're going to talk about is actually one of my favorites, and it's something that I've never experienced at another winery before or had something quite like this. This is going to be called our Girapiga. Again, a very traditional Portuguese dessert wine. It is one of the first wines that's drunk after the harvest and fermentation is over. So there's no real bottle aging or barrel aging that's going to be done on this wine. It's going to be made predominantly with our Vidal Blanc, and then we also add some Touriga to it to give it that kind of beautiful rosé color. And then it isn't completely fermented. It has brandy added to it again to kind of give it that alcohol content. And then we do an infusion of cinnamon on this one. So this is very traditionally done to use as a mulled wine. It's normally drunk in the beginning of November. Once all the farmers and winemakers have completed their harvests and everything, and this is kind of done to toast the harvest on those cold winter nights. All right, and so this is our barrel room. So this is where all of our red wines are going to be aging. We do make all of the wines for both of our Aroma locations and for the Morais Winery right here at the Morais property. This is all going to be oak for the barrels. We don't use any other kind of wood on our wines. And it's going to be a mixture of French oak barrels and American oak barrels, which you'll see, at most wineries here in Virginia. A little mix of new and neutral. We do age most of our dessert wines in the more neutral barrels, and then the single varietal reds get any new oak that we're going to add on to them. But as you guys can see, absolutely beautiful room. We have terracotta wine bottle holders here on the back wall, and those were imported over from Portugal too, and add a very nice little centerpiece to the room. And from my understanding, we make around 3,500 cases a year here as well.
Wow, I feel like we're in a movie set. It's so beautiful.
It's magical in here.
It definitely is. Very good place to come down and be able to take pictures and stuff. Obviously the grounds are open for all of our brides and grooms when they want to take their gorgeous wedding pictures, and definitely get some good shots here.
Well, Alex, thanks so much for having us out. I've heard so many great things about this place, and it's like a million times better than I ever expected, even in all the great things I've heard. So
And you didn't even
you.
get to see everything, but hopefully next time.
Yeah, we'll have to do another one to show off this location even more.
Absolutely, I can't wait.
And Becky, thanks so much for being here again. It's always a pleasure.
Day, always.
And thank you for tuning into this week's edition of Going Gainesville, because we're going Gainesville.
And so are you.
Make sure you tune in with me, Victoria, with Going Gainesville's Rapid Fire segment. Please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hope to see you soon.